We're rolling. Hello, everybody. I'm the American Spy Fox. Welcome back to another live chat where we're going to talk about Nirvana Bleach. I'm looking for shit. Give me 1 minute. As always, Brittany is with me today, and she's going to join in on the conversation. Let me just go ahead and give people a chance to come in and say hello to each other. I've written down some things I want to go over in the chat, some things I want to talk about. I have a couple questions for you guys to test your Nirvana knowledge. See how well you know Nirvana history. And we're going to talk about some lyrics, if they meant anything. The songs that we do know meant something, and maybe take a wild guess at the songs that we don't know, if they meant anything or if he just wrote them because they rhymed. And we'll figure it out. One moment. You can talk at any point. Fill in where I'm not.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I see Luke Hines, Banana Group. Are you a new member? I don't...
Banana Group is a new member.
Oh, welcome, Banana Group. Oceans in Space, For Now, Wildstar Productions, Millennial Animal. How are you guys all doing tonight?
Millennial Animal. I love it. Alright, I was going to chew bubble gum because I realized tobacco offends some people. But I can't find the bubble gum, so...
You tried. It's the thought that counts.
I fucking tried. Trying to make it family friendly.
Jerry and Jenny, the package has not made it to our P.O. box yet. So our post office is kind of terrible and lazy. So if it says it's here in our city, I'm sure we'll get it at some point this week when they get around to sticking the slip in our box.
Yeah, Jerry and Jenny C sent a package, and I went and checked the P.O. box like yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there. By the way, if any of you in the chat are one of the people who've wrote to me, be expecting something back. I have to tell this real quick, and it's a cute story, I guess. I feel for this kid because I have a young son. Do you want to tell it,
hello,
or do you want
John
me to
Michael
tell it?
Patrick. Hello.
I had my first letter from a fan. I don't know if you're watching. Thank you very much. An 11-year-old boy wrote me, and he said he wanted an autographed picture before I became famous. And that made my day. So thank you. I appreciate it that you think that someday I might be famous. I don't think that's going to happen, but you made my day by saying that. And I did send you a picture with an autograph on the back, and it has a picture of Kurt Cobain on it as well. And read comments if you'd like.
Banana Group. No, I've not seen your package. Hi, Rat Kid. And Black Rabbit. And Gano. Nat Sullivan. Hello from Australia. That is a long way away. You are in the future.
The reason I decided to do this later than usual, and I don't have very many chats, you guys know that, is because of the subscribers in Australia. On the analytics page, it tells me who's watching and from what country, and Australia is actually the second largest subscriber count. Comes from Australia. It's like United States, Australia, UK,
Canada,
Germany. There's South American countries, but so I wanted to make sure that the Aussies had a, is that what you call them, Aussies?
Yeah.
The Australians?
Yes.
The Aussies had a chance to be awake for a live chat. I want to take the time right now to thank some members of the channel that I should have already thanked. And I can't believe that it's taken me this long to do it. K-Biz, that's a capital K, B-I-Z, J-M Moy. I hope I pronounced that right.
It's French. Moi.
J-M Moi. Justin Lugo, Sherman Junk, Ashlyn Turner. Ashlyn actually just sent me something just the other day. E.T. Thomas Grabowski, Bob Foray, and Grant Mack. And if you guys are watching, or if you watch in the future, even if you're not watching, thank you so much. These are people who have been supporting the channel for quite a while, and I wanted to get that out of the way. One more thing I wanted to get out of the way. Shane Clement suggested reading the Come As You Are book, chapter by chapter. And what he meant was like, just read the book, a chapter at a time, make a video for each chapter. I would take it a step further, and I would read a chapter and make a video out of it, like a picture slideshow, or use, like I always do, use pictures and video clips while reading the chapters. And I thought that was a really good idea. I think I'm going to do it as a little side project. And then you already talked to Jerry and Jenny C.
Yes, Luke, I'm glad you got the shirt. I'm glad you liked it. Luke got a shirt that you sent out.
Yes, Murray Black said she got her shirt. Cindy Marksberry got her shirt.
Michelle, did you get a shirt? Michelle Gardner?
Michelle Gardner should have got one.
Thank you, Jerry and Jenny. You guys are always awesome in the live chats. Thanks for the support. Havels Ring.
Havels Ring.
Black Rabbit. Nice name.
Havels Ring is the best ring in Dark Souls.
Somebody in here knows what's up.
You can't be fat rolling if you're playing Dark Souls. I have a question for you guys. I don't want you to Google it. If anybody knows the answer, and this is a tough one, man. This is, you really have to be a Nirvana fanatic to know the answer to this question. I'm just going to throw it out there, see if anybody answers it during the live chat. Who wrote the very first article about Nirvana? Can you tell me their name or the magazine they were writing for? And if you know who it is and who they were writing for, what did they say about Nirvana? Give you guys a few minutes to think about it, and I'll give you the answer.
Ryan Swayze 88 says, will you ever do a deep dive on Incest Aside?
Incest Aside is it's more like, well, a lot of it, as you guys know, there's several Vaseline's covers. There's several covers on Incest Aside. It's sort of like B-roll. The only reason Kurt Cobain allowed Incest Aside to be released is because he was allowed to do all of the artwork. I actually ordered a Nirvana Incest Aside t-shirt about, a fucking month ago?
Yeah, it's just been sitting in LA for a month.
I never got the shirt. Like, it was scanned in Los Angeles. I wanted to wear it for this live chat. It never came. So, anyway, but what I was getting at is it's hard to find information on Incest Aside. Kurt Cobain only did one interview. He only did one Incest Aside interview. They didn't really promote it. It was just kind of like, oh, you'll let me do the album art cover? Like, as you guys know, he was an artist. He was a painter. And that's pretty much the only reason he even let it be released, is because he wanted to put his art on it. But I could try. I could try to find as much as I could on the matter. I haven't even came across anything yet in this entire book.
I think we have an answer to your question.
All right, what is it?
Banana Group said it was from some European magazine, and they talked badly about Love Buzz, and Kurt was really pissed.
Okay, that was basically the same week to 2 week period, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys. It was actually this girl named Dawn Anderson. She wrote for the Free Seattle music paper Backlash.
We had a winner. Wildstar Productions did say Dawn Anderson.
He did?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Who was it? Wildstar?
Wildstar Productions. Don Anderson was dating Jack and Dino at the time.
All right. You need to email me, and I'm going to send you a t-shirt for knowing that. If you don't know my email, it's in the About section of my YouTube channel. And just give me, if you want the shirt. If you don't want it, that's cool too. Don't email if you don't want it. But if you want a t-shirt for knowing the answer to that question, just send me an email and give me, the username on YouTube and your real name and all that shit. She said, with enough practice, Nirvana could become better than the Melvins.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that they became better than the Melvins. And
just a little bit.
I've actually, man, I never used to really like the Melvins, but I gave them a second chance. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older or something, but I really like their Houdini album, which was the album that Kurt Cobain helped co-produce. Like that's a tight album. Was there anything else that I needed to go over? Feel free to read comments whenever you want to.
My eyes are being terrible tonight. I have to lean up. Yes, Wildstar Productions. If you just send us an email with your YouTube username in the subject line so we know who you are, we will get you a shirt.
And obviously a shipping address.
Yes, shipping address as well.
So, where I left off in this video, after Nirvana Bleach is released, Nirvana goes on a 2-week, it's basically just a West Coast tour. They go on a 2-week tour. And have you guys ever seen the picture of Kurt Cobain standing on his head? This is something I just found out too. I always thought like it was like early 90s Photoshop or something. Like I never quite understood what that picture was all about. Like did he do a flip? But Kurt Cobain actually played guitar standing on his head at Raja's, I think, in like LA or San Francisco. I can't remember the club. But anyway, Steve Turner, the Mudhoney guitarist, comes back after the 2-week tour, and he was telling Bruce Pavitt and Jonathan Poneman, Nirvana's fucking awesome. I saw Kurt Cobain playing guitar standing on his head. So if you come across that picture, that's literally what it is.
Pablo Concha Tumare, I hope I'm not butchering that, said, did you know that Papercut is the only Nirvana song that has the word Nirvana in the lyrics?
Yes, I'm glad that you brought that up. Who brought that up?
Pablo Concha Tumare.
I actually wrote down some of the lyrics from Papercuts, and I want you guys to tell me what you think it's about. I'll tell you what I think it's about. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. But I want to hear what you guys think it's about. When I'm feeling tired, she pushed food through the door, and I crawl towards the crack of light. Sometimes I can't find my way. Newspapers spread all around, soaking all that they can. A cleaning is due again, a good hosing down. The lady whom I feel maternal love for cannot look me in the eyes, but I see hers and they are blue. I'm curious what, and I can read it again if anybody needs me to. I'll tell you what I think he's talking about. I think he's talking about his mom. Not only because it says maternal love, but if you read his history as a child, she often talks about feeling guilty for calling him lazy, for kicking him out of the house, all that stuff. And she would feed him macaroni and cheese because it was like his favorite meal. And he says, she pushes food through the crack of the door. And like, he was also known to not shower very often. So it could have been this thing where his mom was always bitching at him, like, you're lazy and you never comb your hair and you never shower,
Yeah, Luke Hines, that's definitely what we were thinking. He says it sounds like his home life, how his family treated him like an animal.
Yes, exactly. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, you're right. Like they just kind of like kept him in the back corner of the house, and here we'll shove some macaroni and cheese through the door now and then so you can live. But you're just sort of there. You're like a pet that's just caged up, you know? You're not really a part of the family. That's what I take from that. And of course, Papercuts hurt like a son of a bitch. So, what would hurt more than your own mom treating you like an animal? You know? Like, oh, I'm sick and tired of this cat. Throw it outside, you know? Big Cheese. Anybody know what the song Big Cheese? There isn't much meaning to it, but do you know who Kurt Cobain is referring to? And this is something that is confirmed. It's not just my speculation. He is referring to somebody when he says Big Cheese make me. Does anybody know who he's talking about? Do you know who he's talking about? You don't? Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm reading comments.
Go ahead. Read some comments.
Michelle Gardner says now his mom is all about him and Francis. Now that there's some money to be had.
She's super proud of what her son.
Banana Group says answer is Sub Pop managers.
Yeah, you're right. But specifically Bruce Pavitt. Kurt liked Jonathan Poneman more than he liked Bruce Pavitt. Bruce kept remixing, or he wasn't remixing them. He was forcing Kurt to re-record vocals. And, oh, I don't like that mix. Go mix it again. It doesn't sound right. And even Jack Endino says in this book, the last time they mixed the vocals for Love Buzz, that he couldn't even tell the difference. But Bruce Pavitt made them do it anyway. And that's where the song Big Cheese comes from. He's just talking about, he's being passive-aggressive toward Bruce Pavitt.
Sounds like a control freak.
They had a very specific, sound that they were going for. And, I mean, I don't know how many people listen to all the Sub Pop bands, but they pretty much all sound the same. And Kurt was trying to put melody in his songs, and Bruce Pavitt was like, we don't do melody, we're Sub Pop, we do weird, we do growly, I have no clue. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. I have no clue what these lyrics mean. I know what they make me think of, but I don't know what they mean. Downer, will you read those right there?
It says, portray sincerity, act out of loyalty, defend your true country, wish away the pain, hand out lobotomies to save little families, surrealistic fantasy, bland, boring, plain.
Bland, boring, plain. I love that. I loved how he phrased his lyrics. Hold that, please. I marked something in this book that I want to read to you guys real quick. It's just 2 little paragraphs, and I think that you guys will agree with the author of the book. Okay. One of the remarkable things about Bleach is that the songs often only have one verse, which is repeated 2, 3, or more times. The song School only has 15 words. It's barely noticeable, though, because of Kurt's wide range of vocal styles and phrasings, and the hugely catchy riffs which constitute the songs. You don't notice that he's repeating verses because he sings them totally different, or just like the way he emphasizes, you would call it accenting and drumming, the way he accents certain words, or like you don't even really notice how little lyrics there are, because of the different way he sings the songs. It's like every verse is sung a different way. I'm not going to bore you guys with the lyrics the whole time. There is 2 more songs I want to bring up because the next video I'm uploading, which is a much longer video, talks about a couple songs in it. Swap Me. Everybody's heard the song Swap Me. Let me see here. Where's it? Apparently I didn't write it down. But anyway, it's like, who hasn't been to a flea market? Like, Kurt came from rural Washington. I come from a rural area, and he wrote that song as part. He saw this growing up where people lived in junk.
Yeah.
And all they owned was junk. And so they sold junk and bartered junk and scrapped metal and stuff. And he's literally talking about these people traveling just to survive, selling junk just to survive. You know what I mean? They lead a lifetime that is comfortable. They travel far to keep their stomachs full. They make their living off of arts and crafts. They make a deal when they come to town. The Sunday swap meet is a battleground. I found that a part of the chorus says, keeps his cigarettes close to his heart. It always makes me think of like construction workers with like pocket tees, and they keep their cigarettes in their pocket tee.
Like a...
You know what I mean?
Crazy old tow truck driver or something.
Okay. And one more song, and then we're going to move on to something totally different. I don't know how old you guys are. I was pretty damn young in the 80s. One thing I've learned from this book is that 80s, early 90s, apparently the more jockey, like metal type guys would rock a mustache. Like you were like Kurt even says, if you saw a guy, or maybe it's Matt Lucan from Mudhoney, or I'm sorry, the Melvins and Mudhoney, says if you saw a guy with a denim jacket and a mustache, you knew what kind of guy he was. He probably sold pot, he probably listened to metal, blah, blah, blah. The song Mr. Mustache has nothing to do with that, though. That's the weird thing about it. The song Mr. Mustache is about Kurt's experiences in Olympia with politically correct people. Fill me in on your new vision. Wake me up with indecision. Help me trust your mighty wisdom. Yes, I eat cow. I am not proud. Like these far left, vegan, politically correct people who think they're better than everybody else and they do no wrong. And, Kurt was a left. He was on the left, but he also realized that going too far left was just as bad as going too far right, if that makes sense. And you'll find that in college towns. Like, I grew up in a college town. There's always like these people that live in this little bubble, and they have their ideals, their idealistic bubble of what's right and wrong. And if you're outside of that bubble, you can't be a part of their clique. And I think he's sarcastically saying, oh yes, let me bow down to you. You're so smart. You're so wise,
Black Rabbit says Tom Selleck is the only one who can rock a stash. I
That's
agree.
goddamn right. Tom Selleck is the only person who looks good with a mustache.
Period.
I can't think of anybody else who looks good with a mustache.
I don't know.
Nick Nolte, maybe? Nick Nolte? He rocked a mustache back in the day. I have the next... Oh man, I wish I could put pictures on the screen right now. Check this out. If you guys can see this. It's a early Nirvana poster and a flyer. I don't know if that comes into view or not.
We have a delay on our image here, so hopefully you guys saw that.
The Sonic Temple. The next video is going to be...
Yes, Ron Swanson. Beautiful mustache.
more Bleach era stuff. We're going to talk about Jason Everman and Chad Channing. There's a lot to be said about Chad Channing, but I also want to tell both sides of the story. I want to tell Kurt and Chris' side of the story, and I'm going to tell Chad Channing's side of the story, which are two different stories, by the way.
John Michael Patrick. He's old as shit.
John Michael Patrick.
Asked how old you were.
How old am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 37. I was born in 82, man. I'm a Zennial. I think like late 70s to early 80s are considered Zennials. So I can be Generation X or a millennial. I'm both. Do we have any Gen Xers in here? Do we have anybody born in the early 70s, 60s?
John Michael Patrick says he's 38, so
38.
you're going to be
you've been
38 soon.
Let's see. So Kurt would have been... I heard Nirvana early, though, because I had an older brother, an older stepbrother. He was 6 years older than me. And the first time I heard Nirvana was Nirvana Bleach. That's why it had a huge impact on me. And then when I heard Nevermind, it just blew my mind away. My stepbrother lived with his mother in Baton Rouge, Louisiana during the school year, and then in the summer he would come to Ohio and live with us. My stepdad was his father. One summer when I was 8, I think I was around 8 or 9 years old, he gifted me an old Sony tape deck and a cassette, and the cassette was Nirvana Bleach. And I remember he had dyed hair and ripped up jeans, and everybody thinks their older brother is cool as shit anyway. So he introduced me to Nirvana. He was 6 years older than me. He introduced me to Nirvana Bleach. The song that really stuck out for me was About a Girl, because that and Negative Creep, because it was so different.
Yeah, on the same
It was so different
album,
than all the other songs. And I remember thinking wow, this guy, not only, you hear Negative Creep, that screeching howl, and it just pierces you. But then at the same time, you listen to About a Girl and you're like, wow, this guy can sing and he can scream,
Mr. Booyah said, my brother used to kick my ass to Heart-Shaped Box. First Nirvana memory, 96.
He's getting all hyped up.
Beating the shit out of you.
I wanted to know you guys' impressions. I know a lot of people probably found Nirvana with Nevermind, and then they went back and listened to Bleach. I'm curious your first impressions of Bleach, if anybody would answer that question. My first impression of Bleach was I was a kid, I wasn't going through the emotional roller coaster that teenagers go through. And in a way, I'm kind of jealous of teenagers because they're feeling everything for the first time. Your emotions are heightened and everything is new and exciting, and you'll never again feel that way in your life.
No, it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, a kid can't feel the way a teenager does, and an adult can't feel the way a teenager does. And you when you think about it, you're really vulnerable and really impressionable. And when I listened to Bleach, it empowered me. It made me feel like I knew something that other little kids didn't know, and I was more grown up because I had heard this album and they hadn't, if that makes sense. But again, I was only 8 or 9 years old. Where's everybody from?
I just saw someone, hang on. Someone just said they're in Germany and it's 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m.
Yes,
in Germany.
C Drive Sessions. Born in 1990. Greetings from Germany. It's 4 a.m. here.
Oh,
Love your work.
1990? Is there a new generation yet? The millennials?
Gen Z is the latest.
So is 1990?
90 is a millennial, yes.
90 is a millennial.
Yes.
Z would be the 2000s.
Yes.
Okay.
From like 96 on is Gen Z, I believe. If we want to get technical. Let's see. Ryan Swayze, 88, Houston. Kath Mason, New York.
New York.
Lauren Darkson, North Carolina. Rat Kid, Florida. Daniel Bryant,
We were
Santa
just in
Monica.
Florida. We were in Florida a couple years ago. Singer Island, Palm Beach.
Yeah, that was nice. Luke Hines, New Jersey. Ashlyn Turner, Knoxville. Jenny and Jerry, Canada. Mr. J, Arizona. Dylan Decker, Netherlands.
We have two viewers from Arizona.
Dylan Decker.
Cindy Marksberry's from Arizona too.
Dylan Decker from the Netherlands.
Oh wow, you're in the fucking I'm so jealous,
I know.
dude. I want to be in the Netherlands right now.
Philip Michael, hello, fellow Ohioan.
Nice.
Timmy Turner, standing in the sun in California.
Nice. California.
Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Albuquerque, Washington, Colorado.
I've been through New Mexico. That's
Australia, San Francisco. We got a couple Australians in here.
Man, Kurt Cobain, man, he was worldwide. I bet that people even in like third world countries know who Kurt Cobain is.
Yeah.
He's like Elvis. Like wherever you go, people are going to know who he is.
Right.
You know?
Slip Disc said, from Massachusetts, just came through Ohio on my way to Wyoming. I'm sorry you had to drive through here. There's cornfields
Ohio's not that bad.
well, soybean, cows, and corn.
Well, not if you, up north is all industrial, like Cleveland.
Used to be.
Cleveland's a cool city. I mean, we got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cincinnati Reds.
Minneapolis, a.k.a. Murderapolis. That I hope you're
Hey,
safe
yeah,
in
how
Minneapolis.
are things calming down there? That's some serious subject matter,
know.
man. Like that shit's no joke.
Chile, Bristol, South America, Appalachian accent from Kentucky. That's where my mom's from. So
We have somebody watching in Chile?
yes,
That's fucking awesome.
Pablo.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned him earlier.
Wow, you guys are from all over the place.
Well, I'm very happy that so many people are watching the channel.
I noticed this comment earlier from Juzu. They're in Finland, and they said that earlier today they had a fox on their deck, and they said they were watching it like a spy.
Nice. Nice. We have like bobcats, bear, foxes.
Coyotes. Lots of coyotes.
And the reason why I thought of the fox thing, when I was a kid, I had this dog. I mean, I lived out in the country. Like, when I was really young, we weren't living in the university town. We were out I'm like 12 miles out in the country. There's 70-something acres of land behind me. And my dog used to follow me everywhere, and I'd just go hiking. And there was this fox that lived out in the woods behind the property, and it would always come and just look at us, like almost daily. It would just come and look at my dog.
They're
my
very
dog
curious little creatures.
They are very curious, and I kind of just thought, well, I'm curious about this subject. It kind of goes together. But so Finland, you're in Scandinavia. That's another place I've always wanted to go. Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, any of those countries I would love to go to, man.
Peru.
We had used to have a subscriber that I actually talked to from Medellin, the same place Pablo Escobar is from.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The cocaine drug lord, Pablo Escobar. And I remembered that because I was watching the Pablo Escobar Netflix thing.
Random guitar stuff asked if you ever go hunting or fishing.
So no. I did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my stepfather was a military guy, and his idea of turning a boy into a man was putting a shotgun in his hands and sending him out in the woods to kill something. So I had to, and I enjoyed it for a while, but then I just kind of got to the point where I was like, I don't need to hunt to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I understand why people hunt. If you go kill a deer and have it processed and keep the meat in your freezer and feed your family with it,
Awesome.
that's awesome. But people who just go kill shit for sport just because they can,
I think that's kind of creepy.
It seems kind of cruel to me.
Yeah. But I mean,
but I do enjoy fishing. My little boy loves to fish.
he is quite the angler.
He's better at it than I am, actually. I can't catch shit, but he can. We had a little pond, too, with a little John Deere rowboat. And we used to fish and stuff when I was a kid.
John Michael Patrick, yes, I am Mrs. Spy Fox.
I've known this woman for 11 years now.
Oh, has it been that long?
Can't fucking get rid of her.
No.
Don't. But anybody, the Bleach album, any impressions? Did anybody answer that? I know that the Bleach album didn't have quite as big of an impression as the other Nirvana albums did, but it's still a great album.
Yeah.
Like, I think it gets overlooked a lot. Of course, it's went platinum, like, after Nevermind, but they sold 40,000 copies pre-Nevermind, you know?
Oh,
Like,
thank you, Philip Michael, for the support.
Where's Philip Michael from?
It doesn't say. Somewhere in the U.S. It's in U.S. dollars. In memory of Kurt, always great to listen to and reminisce.
Absolutely. I wonder what he would be like if he was still alive. I bet he would be like he said in an interview once. He said, you know, I'd like to be like Johnny Cash, you know, like, and just sit down in a chair and play guitar. I bet if he was still alive, he would just be playing acoustic guitar.
Hopefully not married to Courtney Love.
No, they were going through a divorce. He wasn't. Don't get me started on fucking Courtney
I'm
Love.
sorry, I ruined it.
This has been a pleasant experience until you just said that name.
It's all my fault.
Fucking Courtney Love, man.
Oh.
I know a lot of you agree with me about the Courtney Love situation. I have a video in the works that is literally just every stupid fucking thing Courtney Love has ever done or
So it's
said.
it's like 30 hours long?
It's going to be at least 20 to 25 minutes long. Every time she's been caught in a lie, like, it compares like different interviews of like different answers she's given. Like, but I want to get this Bleach stuff out first.
Wildstar Production says, first impressions of Bleach, dark, disturbing, confusing, and interesting. While working at Tower Records in Seattle, it seemed like the girls there had a new secret band. It was Nirvana.
I read a blog recently, and I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I can't fact check to tell you whether this is true or not. And I was just telling her this morning. It's just some blog that this guy wrote. He lived in Seattle, and he was a Nirvana fan. He was a teenager during the Bleach era. And so before Nirvana became famous, he was going and seeing them in these little tiny clubs and bars they were playing around Tacoma, Olympia, Seattle. And he said he was a part of the underground. He's like one of these like Mr. Punk Rock people who like can't, people who can't listen to a band once they're mainstream because it's not cool anymore. And he said, well, once they became famous, I quit listening to Nirvana because I was mad that they sold out or whatever. And he said he was in a Safeway at like 2 a.m. And you guys probably know what Safeway is. It's like mini Walmarts. They're all over Seattle. That's the one thing I remember about Seattle is Starbucks and Safeway. They're fucking everywhere. And he runs into Kurt Cobain. Again, I don't know whether this is true or not, but he said Kurt had a shopping cart full of toilet paper, and he was looking at like frozen TV dinners, and he was like, I was going to talk to him, but I decided not to even bother the guy. He turns the corner, walking away, runs straight into Courtney Love, and by this time, Courtney and Kurt are together, and Kurt's all over MTV, right? Courtney says to him, hey, Kurt Cobain's back there, right? And he said, yeah, I saw him. And she goes, I'll give you $5 to go back there and ask him if he's the lead singer to Alice in Chains.
That's so...
And it sounds like fairly innocent, like, haha, I'm just messing with you, joking around. And the guy said he did it. So he does it. And he said Kurt looked so sad when he said, hey, man, aren't you that guy that sings for Alice in Chains? And he said the look on Kurt's face was just like, wow, I can't believe you just said that to me. And years later, because he's writing the blog years later, he ends it with saying, I wonder how many times Courtney Love fucked with his head like that.
That's so
like,
cruel.
How many little, she knew that he was very emotionally strained. And all those little tiny things add up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was suggesting, he said, I don't think Courtney Love had anything to do with his murder. I think she drove him to suicide. And
thank you, Michelle, for the support.
Sorry, if I missed something, I'm sorry. I start rambling and then I don't stop. Kristen Pfaff is coming up. Within the next 48 hours, you guys are going to get a video on Kristen Pfaff.
Luke Hines says, my first impressions of Bleach, the first time I heard it, the poor recording of it got to me. And at first I couldn't really enjoy it, but after that I appreciated it for what it was, and it's fucking badass.
I remember I used to play, you guys remember CD boom boxes where you could put a song on repeat? Like you could either loop the CD,
the whole CD,
and just play the CD over again, or you could repeat one song. I would put Negative Creep on repeat, and in my driveway I would shoot basketball and just listen to Negative Creep over and over again. And I remember my mom came out one day and was like, "Why in the fuck do you keep listening to that song over and over again?" Like it was just driving everybody crazy.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a question here somebody was asking.
Okay. Take your time. We're not going anywhere.
Oh, Matt Banahan.
Matt Banahan?
He said, I think Kurt and Weezer would have done some badass collaborations.
That would have been a weird collaboration, wouldn't it?
I would have dug it.
Weezer was that. They were definitely garage band, like the Replacements or the Sonics. But they were like a funny, more lighthearted kind of garage band. I traveled back past the junior high that I went to. The first show my 8th grade band ever did was the last day of school. And I just stopped by that school today and was like looking at the area where our band set up. The reason I bring this up is we did a couple Weezer covers in front of the school.
Jerry and Jenny C says, can you interview Tracy Miranda? I think a couple people have suggested that.
We found her on, I've told you guys I've talked to Jason Pfaff, Kristen Pfaff's brother, but he started ignoring me once he found out that I was a part of the conspiracy, even though his family's pretty much said they don't believe that she OD'd. That's a whole other story. Didn't we found her on Facebook or something?
Yeah, I did.
I don't really fuck with like Facebook and stuff. Like very, very seldom will I jump on Facebook. But I'm trying to think of like how what should I say to her? You know? Because I would bet there's 1,000 YouTubers who've tried to talk to that girl.
Possibly.
What can I say to her that would get her attention and, actually get her to read my message?
Without sounding like an absolute batshit Looney Tunes person.
And honestly, I would just like to talk to her on camera, just to ask her about their relationship. She doesn't have to say whether she thinks he was killed or whether he committed suicide.
Oh, Tennessee Coneflower says today is actually Kristen Pfaff's death anniversary. June 16th.
Holy crap, is it?
Wow.
I know, yeah, it was in June. And I believe Detective Antonio Terry died in June as well, or July. Wow. She was such a great musician too.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a shame that Courtney Love ended up having any bit of notoriety for being a musician, because Kristen Pfaff was a musician. Courtney Love
just flopped around and
she would literally just play with her tits out. Like, hey, I know my guitar playing sucks, but you can stare at my tits while you watch me. Like,
I bleach.
Oh, that reminds me, the second question. One more Nirvana trivia question for you guys. And I'm going to give out another t-shirt. You can have either an American Spy Fox shirt, a Welcome to Aberdeen shirt, or a Seattle Greenhouse shirt.
Oh, and I guess today is Tupac's birthday. Well, happy birthday,
Oh, no shit.
Tupac. Yeah.
Dude, hey, did you guys know that Kurt and Chris were fans of Public Enemy?
Huh.
One of the guys from David Geffen said that he went over to Kurt's house one day and Chris and Kurt had a Public Enemy CD just blasting Public Enemy. Oh, no, not Public Enemy, NWA.
Okay.
They were blasting NWA at Kurt Cobain's house. Like,
DC Richards asked, do you think they will hologram Cobain? Only if Courtney gets paid for it.
I think that would... I don't think that's disrespecting him at all, honestly. I think technology allows for that. I would pay to see that. Like, if they took an actual concert he did and did it... I mean, I don't know if you guys think it's disrespectful or not. I don't think it's disrespectful.
I think it's pretty cool.
As long as his daughter was okay with it. You know, if Frances Bean was cool with it, I could give a shit less what Courtney thinks. Okay. Can anyone tell me why Nirvana named their first album Bleach?
We need some Jeopardy music.
How did the guys from Nirvana come up with the name Bleach? And I'll give you a few... I'm only going to give you like 15 more seconds because it could easily be Googled.
No cheating. We know.
We don't know. Just Google it.
F-Bass asked, Charles, do you play any other instruments besides the drums?
Yeah, I can play bass guitar and guitar. I can't play anything else. I can play guitar and drums, that's it. And with guitar, I can play major chords and I can play bar chords. I don't know scales. I can't like play lead guitar, but I could play rhythm guitar.
Daniel Bryant says, a terrible laundry accident. Banana Group says, from a poster, let's see, Made to Last says, Needles HIV.
Yep, Needles
ding, ding,
HIV.
ding, ding. Yeah, the poster soaking the needles.
They were in San Francisco, and there was a huge anti-AIDS campaign going on, and there were posters and signs everywhere that said "Bleach your works," meaning bleach your needles, and that's where Kurt got it from. Bleach your needles.
Actually. Yeah, bleach used to clean needles. A lot of people got that one right. Well, good job,
Well, who
guys.
was the first one to
That's
get
what
it
I'm
right?
trying to see.
You're supposed to be paying attention.
I know, they're coming really fast. Let's see. Banana Group said, from a poster. The anti-AIDS HIV campaign poster.
We'll look back through the comments and see who said it first, and I'll put a message in the comment section. I've never heard from these people. E.T., Thomas Grabowski, Bob Ferre, Grant Mack. They've been members of mine for a while, and I don't think I've ever heard from them.
Yeah,
Like,
if you're here, comment and let us know that you're watching. We like hearing from you guys.
Big cheese.
Travis Harrell asked, do you have a favorite brand of drums or guitars?
I do have a favorite brand of drums, but I cannot afford them. If I could have any brand I wanted, it would be a DW kit for sure. But I started playing D drum because at one point Dave Grohl played D drum, and nobody really got into D drums. I didn't know anybody with a D drum set.
And one of your toms split. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I ordered this D drum kit from Musician's Friend. It came with a cracked tom. So I complained and they said mail it back and we'll replace it. I paid $50 to ship this fucking drum back to them, and then they mailed me back the same drum with glue on it.
With some good old, like, Gorilla Glue or
So
something.
I'm telling you right now,
It was
if you're a
bad.
drummer, do not buy D drum. They're cool drum sets. They sound good, especially if you get the ones with the suspended tom mounts. But their customer service is shit.
Yeah, I was really pissed about that.
It doesn't matter if you pay for a warranty or not. They'll fuck you over. So I'm in the market for a drum set right now, actually. I was going to do the electronic kit, but then you got to buy the speakers and everything to go with it. And
Luke Hines says, what about cymbals?
I like Paisty. I do really, really like Paisty. And if I could afford them, though, again, if I could have anything I wanted, I would go with the Istanbuls. They're like fucking $800 cymbals. But Paisty's never done me wrong, man. And if you don't know that much about cymbals, you can never go wrong with Zildjian, you know. But none of that really matters until you get into recording.
Right.
If you're getting serious with a band and you want to record, then you want good cymbals. If you're just playing live, you can fucking play with any cymbals.
Luke says he wants a Gretsch kit.
Gretsch is cool. Gretsch is another cool band, too. I was looking at one just recently that was like a silverish, grayish color. Gretsch is great. I've never been into Pearl, never been into Ludwig. I'm telling you, and you can't go wrong with a Mapex. Mapex are fucking badass drum sets, too. I have a buddy who only plays Mapex. That's the only thing he'll touch is Mapex drum sets. One of my viewers, one of my subscribers actually works at a factory that...
Yeah, that's what they said because they noticed the Mapex shirt.
Yeah, I was wearing a Mapex shirt that my friend gave to me in a video. And he said he works at the factory where they make the drums. And I was like, damn, I wish I worked at that factory. Maybe I'd get a discount or something.
Mason Dove, is it bad that Bleach is your favorite Nirvana album? Absolutely not. You can like whatever you want, man.
My favorite Nirvana album is In Utero. Not gonna lie about that. Kurt even said he's like, it was weird when I was on an indie label, they were telling me what to do, and then when I got on a major label, they let me do whatever I wanted to do. But he admits that with Nevermind, his ultimate goal was to make the ultimate pop song, which became Smells Like Teen Spirit, to make money. And the reason he wanted to make a bunch of money is so then he could do whatever he really wanted to do. That's why I think In Utero is the most Kurt Cobain album. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Because at that point, he didn't give a fuck what anybody thought. He was just like, I'm doing what I want to do. I don't care what you guys think, you know? And it's just so raw. It's just a furious album. I know there was a bunch of shit like I'm not going to get into it. Like Steve Albini said that the record company was on their asses and all this, but everything I've read, Kurt Cobain said there was no problems with the album. They remixed a couple of the vocals and that was it. And there was no problem, but that's a whole other video.
Cameron, thanks for the donation.
Cameron who?
Just Cameron.
Cameron? Where are you from, Cameron?
Somewhere in Europe. I always imagined
Europe?
if Nirvana ever had a fourth album, it would sound very REM. Have always thought Kurt would have been fond of Placebo.
Placebo. He was also working with Mark Lanegan, right? He worked with Lanegan. He started a project with Lanegan back in like '88, but they never finished it. And then right around his death, he was talking to Lanegan. If you don't know who Mark Lanegan is, Screaming Trees, the lead singer to Screaming Trees, they had a huge hit on the Singles movie soundtrack. Man, that song was on the radio constantly. What was it called? I Nearly Lost You. Anyway, Michael Stipe, Mark Lanegan. I think it would have been weird. I think it would have been like
some weird shit.
Some really weird
experimental,
shit.
Different.
Exactly, like experimental type stuff. I think he could have created an entire new genre. Like, had that dude been given enough time, he could have created an entirely new genre of music. It was so easy for
Cameron
him.
from the UK. Thank you, Cameron.
Oh, from the UK. I'm always curious about British people, what they think about Americans.
They're too nice to tell us the truth.
Right. They'd be like, sorry, I can't tell you the truth. We were just talking about that earlier, how British people always apologize. Sorry. We've known a couple British people. And it's like, what are you apologizing for?
Stop it.
You don't need to say sorry. You're too nice. Like Canadian people, you're too nice. There's actually nothing wrong with that.
Eric.
What do you guys think about Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone?
Chaz. Let's not get into Chaz.
We're not going to go there in this video?
Not this one. Eric 2099 says, I remember when I first watched the Heart-Shaped Box music video when I was little and just how interesting it was.
It was, yeah. And Kurt always played it off like he wasn't very ambitious, but he's the one who created all them videos there, ultimately. And oh my God, I can't wait until I put out the Smells Like Teen Spirit video. I got this really cool video I'm working on, but I want it to be amazing. I've really been taking my time on it because I want it to fucking kick ass. It's all about Kurt creating these videos in his journals and stuff like that.
For now says UK's favorite word is cunt.
Yes.
You're a right cunt.
You're a right cunt. We talked about this in the last chat. I think Jerry and Jenny C brought it up. The guy who wrote William Burroughs, the guy who wrote The Priest They Called Him, they wanted William Burroughs to be in Heart-Shaped Box. I'm sure you guys have seen that interview. But they decided, it would be too degrading for a man of his, reputation to be in that video, so they ultimately did not ask him. The sad thing about that guy that is in the video is he had cancer and he was dying. He didn't tell anybody. It's weird that Kurt says, I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn black. And the old man in the video actually had cancer and died shortly thereafter.
That's sad.
Yeah.
John Michael Patrick asks, have you seen Montage of Heck yet?
Ooh, I literally have a video called Why I Haven't Watched Montage of Heck. I tried to, man. I tried to watch it, and I just kind of especially because I had read Buzz Osborne's review, and Buzz was saying it was 99% bullshit, and I gave it a good 10-15 minutes, and I was like, fuck it, I'm done with this.
Pearl Jam Unfiltered asks, are you a stoner?
Remove that guy from the chat.
Oh. Okay. Moving on.
Did you remove him?
Yep.
Yeah, Pearl Jam Unfiltered is not welcome in my chats, and he knows why.
Wildstar Production says, I heard Chad Channing turned Kurt on to Bowie while they were on tour.
Huh. I haven't read that yet. I'm not saying that that's not true or anything. I haven't read that. Chad Channing was from Bainbridge Island. I don't know if you guys have watched my Frances Farmer video. She was put in a mental hospital on Bainbridge Island, and that's the same island Chad was from. And Chad was in bands before Nirvana. Like he had a huge influence over the music on Bainbridge Island.
That's Liano, Freddie Mercury, and Kurt Cobain. That's funny you say that. I just got done right before we started watching the Queen movie, the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. I just happened to find it on TV and watch it, and it's really good. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. Jerry and Jenny said, do you think Kurt would have made a good actor?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you think Kurt would have made a good actor?
Nah, Kurt was too genuine. I don't think he would. I don't think he'd have bought into the Hollywood thing, because you had to be too fake. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't capable of it. He was clearly a very talented person, more talented than I could ever wish to be. But I don't think he liked. It was weird that he was married to Courtney, who loved Hollywood, when he disdained it so much. It was like opposites attract or something.
I guess so. I don't know.
I don't think that she ever really, truly let him know who she was until
it was too late.
Until after they had the baby and after they got married. And then she was like, oh, yeah, by the way, I want to be a princess, you know?
Sean Horta says Michael Stipe and Kurt. It was in the works. Kurt even bought plane tickets for Stipe. Yep.
Yeah. Kurt didn't buy them. Peter Buck did. Peter Buck was Kurt and Courtney's neighbor, and he was a member of REM, and he had tickets for Kurt to pick up to fly into Atlanta because Stipe lives in Athens, Georgia, his hometown. He lives in this little small community. It's kind of like a college town, a bohemian college town. And yeah, Peter had tickets that Kurt was supposed to come and pick up to fly to Georgia. Yeah, he's totally right.
John Michael Patrick said bipolar opposites attract.
Bipolar opposites attract. All of a sudden, my water broke. Maybe he was writing that to Courtney. Courtney, I love you for what I am not. I do not want what I have got.
Courtney?
Courtney.
Mark said, people don't talk about how funny and sarcastic Kurt was. I wish he was known more for that fun personality. Yeah, in interviews, you can definitely see that side of him, for sure.
He was. That's what I've been noticing lately is people who knew him said he was a very funny guy. Like, he had a really great sense of humor.
He seemed very like a dry, sarcastic.
Like the British.
Yeah.
He was very British in his humor. and I don't think he was as sad as the media made him out to be, honestly.
Maybe misunderstood, but not sad.
Well, I mean, you grow up your whole fucking life with the people who are supposed to love you shunning you. How would you feel, you know?
Right.
Like, you probably wouldn't trust people very much, you know?
No.
I've seen there's videos, I'm sure you guys have seen them on YouTube, like Nirvana funny moments, Kurt Cobain funny moments. Like, he was always joking around and shit.
I like the way he fucks with interviewers.
Yeah, in the early days of Nirvana, they were constantly fucking with interviewers.
Yeah.
It's in the lyrics, man. He just seems very annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it would get old.
But Chris, what did you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that interview with Chris where he's like, we were cooking on the codeine joy juice?
Dude, when I first saw it, I cracked up because he's so serious.
Well, the reason why I thought it was so funny is because I had read the story in this book. So I knew that it was a true story and that he wasn't fucking with the interviewer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the way he said it was like, the interviewer thinks he's just fucking with him, but Chris is being genuine. He's like, man, we were cooking on this codeine joy juice. Really getting into it. And I'm not promoting anybody to drink codeine.
Please
I do
don't.
think it's crazy that apparently back in 1989 you could just go to your local health department and they just give you bottles of codeine.
Right.
Like, here you go. Have some codeine. It's a cure-all. It's like grandma's hot toddies, you know?
Hey,
like,
my grandma's hot toddies will cure you. I'm telling you that.
The fucking granny on the Beverly Hillbillies.
With her moonshine.
Kurt Cobain loved the Beverly Hillbillies, by the way. And one of the first things he bought when he actually made money off Nevermind was a Nintendo. He bought a fucking Nintendo. Or a Pac-Man or something like that. Some video game. An NWA cassette. A fucking Nintendo. And he'd sit around and watch Beverly Hillbillies.
Living the good life. Woo!
Granny would come out with her fucking
elixir. Yes, that's the word. Tim Bossard. Yes, Granny's elixir.
She called it her elixir, but it was just a big bottle of moonshine. This'll cure you right up, Jed.
Jed Clampett.
Jed Clampett.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Anthony Stevens says you can still get it in Mexico. You can get everything in Mexico.
Yeah, you can,
Go
can't you?
right over to Tijuana.
I had a buddy who was in the Navy, stationed out in California, and he's told me some crazy stories about going down to Mexico. Apparently, a lot of sailors spend their paychecks down in Mexico.
Appalachian Accent said he would have loved Kentucky. Real life Beverly Hillbillies. And it's the same here in Ohio. We can't judge. We're just right across the river.
I remember in like as early as the late 90s seeing in the news the cops busting up moonshine rings and like busting up old steels and shit.
My uncle made moonshine till the day he died. Apple pie moonshine, whatever.
Apple pie moonshine's the best.
Yeah, it is. It gets you lit.
Yeah, it tastes great too. Oh man.
Oh.
I wish I was like a rich YouTuber where I could just like fly everybody in and have a party.
Oh.
Why don't YouTubers do that?
I don't know. Maybe
they got rich because of their fucking subscribers.
Right.
Like, why not throw a party for them, you know?
Man, that sounds fun.
I would. I'd fly like fucking 500 people in and just throw a big ass party.
But we'd all have to wear a mask and stay 6 feet apart.
Right. And no burning buildings or breaking windows. Oh, man. So this chat went to hell. I had like this whole spiel I was going to do.
I know, he sat forever writing it out. And
then I just kind of went downhill, didn't I?
Thank you, Sean Horta. He says my uncle's a hero. He was actually...
What do you mean?
Because my uncle made moonshine. My Uncle Sam made moonshine. And funny enough...
Didn't he die falling down the stairs?
His girlfriend pushed him down the steps and he died. That's not funny. You know what? This is...
The fucking her moonshine dealing uncle
was murdered
by his fucking girlfriend who got pissed off when she was drunk and shoved him down the stairs.
R.I.P. Uncle Sam, and his name really is Sam.
Oh man.
Oh man. Sorry guys, we're getting a little off track here.
We obviously did not know him.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
So, get it together. Anybody else have anything they want to say about Nirvana Bleach?
I'm getting a case of the giggles. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys.
Rest in peace. Did you guys bury him with his steel?
His moonshine
His
still?
fucking moonshine jug.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'd have to ask my grandpa. He knows. But I do know that his girlfriend got pissed because she didn't get the trailer. When he died, she thought she was going to get the trailer.
She got kicked off the property.
She got kicked off the property. Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Sean Horter. He said, this is good TV.
Oh, man.
We got to do something.
Do we have anybody in here from Scotland? Is there any Scottish
I feel like
in
someone
here?
did comment from Scotland.
Whenever I can't help, thank you, Mel Gibson, I can't help but think of Braveheart every time I think of Scotland now. Which is like one of my favorite movies. That and Gladiator. What I want to know, seriously, what's you guys' favorite movies? I would bet that most of these people's favorite movies are some of our favorite movies.
Probably. Luke Hines says, did Kurt ever say if he was a Hendrix fan?
Ooh, good question. I've never read anything about Kurt talking about Hendrix, but that's a damn good question. I mean, from Seattle, played left-handed.
Oh, there's our Scott. Transmission GGB from Aberdeen, Scotland.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
From Aberdeen, Scotland. That's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see.
No, man. Hendrix is awesome, dude. We talked a little bit about Hendrix in the last chat. You're right. I mean, there were some... Of course, I think Hendrix was a lot better of a guitar player, obviously. But, just both the Seattle scene, left-handed guitarist, kind of interesting. Kurt played on his head. Jimi Hendrix played on acid.
Played behind his back with his shit on fire, like...
Yeah, with his teeth.
Right. Okay, let's see some favorite movies here. I slipped by too fast. Okay, Shutter Island, Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption was filmed at an old prison here in Ohio, the old Mansfield Reformatory.
Yep.
You can actually still go
Take a tour?
Yeah, it's supposed to be haunted. Like
a ghost tour.
During Halloween, they open up the prison and give tours and stuff.
Dead Poets Society, great movie.
That's a fucking great movie.
Gladiator,
yes.
The Big Lebowski.
Oh, that's a must. Big
Yes.
Lebowski. But that rug really tied the room together. You pissed on my rug, man.
God damn it. Spinal Tap.
I said that to my dog once. When she was a puppy, she pissed on my rug, and I said, God damn it, Bella, that rug really tied the room together. And she just wagged her tail at me.
The Outsiders, great movie. Dumb and Dumber, Highlander,
yes.
The Conjuring 2. Ooh, I love those movies.
Anybody,
see.
Army of Darkness? We got some Bruce Campbell fans.
Clockwork Orange, District 9.
Holy shit, I forgot about A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
I saw that when I was way too young. I was way too young to be watching A Clockwork Orange, because there's a fucked up rape scene in that.
Yeah.
And it fucked my head all up.
Let's see. Nightmare on Elm Street, Tombstone.
You guys remember how scary Freddy was when you were a kid? And now
Fucking Step Brothers. Yes, that's one of our favorite movies.
I've watched Step Brothers a million times. When I was a kid, Freddy and Jason were scary as shit, and now I feel like I could kick their asses. You know what I mean? It's just corny when you go back and watch it. You're like, I was afraid of this.
Alcatraz, Requiem for a Dream. That's a great movie.
Ass to ass. Okay. If you've never seen Requiem for a Dream, you probably don't get that quote.
The Dark Knight. That's a good movie. Star Wars. Yup.
Everybody loves Star Wars. I have the whole I'm a total Star Wars.
We have the box set collection on VHS.
Two of them.
I don't know why.
I have the original and the...
like the digitally remastered... Which, how can you digitally remaster a VHS? What?
I don't know, but they did
But you bought it.
Dolby Digital. It's just a marketing ploy to get you to buy the same shit over again.
Yeah, Donnie Darko.
Oh, Donnie Darko.
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Yes, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. I actually have a huge White Tree of Gondor tattoo.
Yes, you do.
E.T., Amityville Horror, The Exorcist. Man, these are great movies.
It's like basically every movie I have.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something really cool and unique, but I can't. Oh, have you guys ever watched the movie Four Rooms? You ever seen Four Rooms?
I feel like we watched that together, but it was like 10 years ago.
Never mind.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Gummo!
Gummo was filmed in Ohio.
It is Ohio.
It's Xenia, Ohio.
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, like there's a scene in Gummo where the mom is like feeding the kid spaghetti in the bathtub and she's smoking a cigarette. Like, I've been to places like that. Meigs County, Ohio. Like,
shout out Meigs County. Jerry and Jenny C. Willow.
Fuck yeah.
We just made our kids watch that for the first time like a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "This is old. We're gonna hate it," and they loved it.
Yeah. Well, the dude, the dwarf in the movie, that's what you call him, right? You don't say midget. Midget's not politically correct.
Little peoples.
His name's Warwick, right? He played on The Idiot Abroad.
Yeah, which is
and the British dude fucked with him the whole time and said he was an inconvenience. Anyway, I was yelling.
Boys, yes.
Somebody wrote me from Warwick, Rhode Island, and I wrote him back. And when I was like talking to the post office dude, he said, "Oh, Warwick, Willow." I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, that's where it's going.
Oh, man, guys, we're getting goofy tonight. The Goonies. Jerry and Jenny have a Willow lunchbox. That is fan-fucking-tastic.
No shit.
I want a Willow lunchbox.
That's badass, dude.
Oh.
Like an original Willow, like an old school Willow lunchbox?
Trainspotting, good movie.
You better hold on to that.
Yeah, that's worth some money, I bet. Give me some of that water.
I found some really cool 1989 to 1993 t-shirts at a fucking Goodwill recently.
Yeah.
I like going to secondhand shops. I got that from Kurt Cobain. He always talked about going into secondhand shops and finding little treasures and stuff. And I found like some really old Looney Tunes shirts from 89 to 93. One of them's worth $350.
Yeah.
We looked it up, like, people are selling this. I bought it for $2.99 at a secondhand shop, and it's going for $350 on Etsy.
Right, which is nuts.
Because it's vintage.
Right. It's weird to think that 90s
you guys
is now
have seen
vintage.
me. You guys have seen me wear it in the video. It's the Mickey Mouse shirt that I wear.
Oh,
sometimes.
they got the matching thermos with the lunchbox, too. That was the shit.
That's badass. I never had a cool lunchbox. I always had to take a brown bag. You weren't fucking cool unless you had a lunchbox.
I know.
And I had the generic Lunchables. Like everybody picked on you because you took your generic Lunchables to school. Remember that shit?
Yes.
And like all the cool kids sat at the table with the fucking real Lunchables. Sons of bitches.
Fuck them. Don't need them.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Jerry and Jenny, you guys are the coolest. I have 10 or so lunchboxes. A-Team, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Dick Tracy.
I found a Dick Tracy board game at a thrift shop from the 60s.
Yes. It used to be in the background.
It used to be in my background, which, by the way, I will have a new background very, very soon. I'm sort of like building a new YouTube studio in my garage. So, like, putting up walls and soundproofing and all that shit, that's been taking up a lot of my time.
Luke Hines said his dad would draw hand puppets on his lunchbox, his little paper bag, little hand puppets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, that was nice of him. At least he was thinking of them, you know? Like.
Yeah. Sean Horta, yes, Looney Tunes t-shirts do sell for $300 on Etsy. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, so if you guys are out at your local thrift store, pick up some crusty old 90s shirt and flip them on eBay.
It's right there. Go get it.
Yeah.
It's over on that shelf. I'll show it to you guys. You can look it up on Etsy. I'm not bullshitting you. The last one that sold for $350. You guys have seen me wear this. And it's got like it It's just like a comic strip all the way around it. I couldn't believe it, man. I found that shirt for $2.99. And just out of curiosity, because I saw that it had a tag and it said 1990. Is it 1993, I think?
I believe so.
Anyway. And then I found this one,
we
too.
got this gem.
This one is from...
It's on the front. It's from 93, I think.
No, I think this one's older.
93.
Oh, this one's from 93 as well. It's kind of like somebody who owned this shirt sweated a lot because it's like yellow. But it's like...
You guys remember these shirts, right?
Probably remember these from like middle school or whatever. Like elementary. The weird thing is I never wore them. Back then I thought you were a geek if you wore Looney Tunes. And now it's cool to wear Looney Tunes. So I don't know.
Sean Horta.
I'm never in the fashion.
Where do you get the American Spy Fox banner? It's actually not a banner. It is a huge beach towel. And it's on the Teespring store. There's a lot of different little things on there.
Basically what happened is like Teespring makes this stuff and they sell it. And after so many sales, they'll give me a free one, right? So like every 5 products that are sold, I get a free one. And I just chose that to hang it in the background, which I've changed my icon, as you guys have probably noticed, to the red, white, and blue American Spy Fox. Thought it was very American of me to do that.
Yeah.
And, but I've been trying to make the shirts cooler, like, with the greenhouse and the Welcome to Aberdeen sign. Like, instead of making them about the channel, making them about Seattle and more like grungy, you know. And I mean, that's what we talk about. We talk about what the fuck happened in that greenhouse.
Right.
So I thought it was appropriate to have a t-shirt. You know, Courtney Love tore the greenhouse down. Well, I want people to wear shirts with a picture of the greenhouse on it to fucking let that bitch know that nobody's forgotten.
Right, you can tear it down, but
you can
people
tear
aren't
it
gonna
down, but
forget.
nobody's going to forget that something crazy happened there, you know? That's the way I feel about it, man.
F Base says they still have their Weird Al concert t-shirt from 95. That's sweet.
Is that dude still around? Is
Weird Al
Yankovic?
Yeah.
He must have made a ton of money off the Smells Like Teen Spirit parody. He was like big.
Oh, yeah.
In the early
He was
90s.
huge in the 90s.
He was as big as any other musical artist, for real. He did Michael Jackson and Madonna and all those. Bella, quit sniffing Daffy Duck.
Stop. Quit licking the shirts.
Our dog is sniffing Daffy Duck.
She's special.
Oh, man. This was great, man. You guys are a lot of fun. You guys are fucking cool as shit.
Because this is the only adult interaction we get is with each other.
Right. We're all isolated. The most interaction we get is walking the dog and saying hello to your neighbor, you know, like
right.
that's it. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys tonight. I wish I'd have been a little more professional about it.
It's all right.
But yeah, if anybody, so, oh my God, I already forgot your names. Do not be offended by that. I see at least 75 to 100 different names a day. The 2 people I owe t-shirts to, we will look back through the comments and I'll find the first person who answered that question. myepictales@gmail.com, and just let me know, hey, I was in the chat and I answered that question, and I'll send you guys a t-shirt of your choosing. I sent Cindy Marksberry a tank top because she lives in Arizona.
Yeah,
you ever been to Arizona? It's hot as fuck there.
They have all those wildfires there now.
Oh, man, that's right. That's right.
I hope anybody from Arizona is doing okay. Wildstar Productions. That was one of you. That you were.
And
yeah.
you said it was Banana Group or somebody else that answered first about the
Yes,
Bleach.
I believe so.
Yeah, my email is myepictales@gmail.com. If you go to the About section of my channel and just click the email thing, it'll show the email to you. But whether you guys, I have tank tops for men and women, so whatever you choose, or a regular shirt or whatever. And I'll pay for it and send it to you. I'll have it shipped to you.
Larry Simpson says, that's what makes it cool. You are not a professional.
I try to be as amateur as I can be.
Mr. J
immature
says,
as I can be.
Mr. J says, yep, we're on fire here in Arizona. Well, I hope all of you in Arizona are well. That's terrible.
Yeah, we never get natural wildfires where we're at. We don't understand how devastating it can be. Like, once those things start, it's almost impossible to stop them,
I do a lot. We're really, really close to a national forest, like national park, and they do some controlled burns here.
But it rains all the time.
Right.
It fucking rains all the time.
They just do the controlled burns here.
And again, people have asked me, as soon as Washington allows people to visit, I'm gonna go out to Aberdeen, and I'm gonna go out to Seattle, and I think it would be cool if anybody in Washington or anybody else wants to meet up and walk around Aberdeen and ask questions with me. I'm gonna go right up to Gary Cobain's door and just knock on it.
Somebody earlier asked. I think it was maybe Jerry and Jenny asked if you would ever interview him.
I want to. He lets people in. He lives in the same mobile home that Kurt's grandpa lived in, Leland Cobain, and I think he enjoys it because I've seen YouTubers who just show up there and knock on the door, and he's like, "Come on in and have a cup of coffee. I'll show you some letters from Kurt." Like, I think it'd be awesome to go there and make a video out of it. And when I go, I'll let you guys know. And if anybody wants to hook up, I don't know whether you're coming or not, but I'm going. And I'm sure you will.
Yes.
We can get a babysitter. You guys can come and interview Gary Cobain with me. What I thought would be cool was just to walk around the town, because it's not very big, and just figure out who's who. Like, hey, who grew up with Kurt Cobain? Who used to be his neighbor or whatever.
Show us the cool hangout spots where the cool kids go.
Yeah, they called it the Smoke Shack.
Yeah.
When Kurt was growing up in Aberdeen, the cool place to be was the Smoke Shack. That's where all the potheads went. Hey, this has been great, guys. We're going to have to go, and I wish you guys the very best. I had a lot of fun with you guys. For anybody in Arizona, I hope you're safe. Hell, for
anybody anywhere.
Anybody anywhere. The world is crazy right now, and I'm glad that there are sane, rational people out there like you guys who aren't causing chaos, basically. Yes. And take it easy on Chris Novoselic. I know he agreed with Trump, which is weird as hell. But I think what Chris was trying to say was he just doesn't want to see anybody get hurt who doesn't deserve to be hurt. You know what I mean? But then again, if they put the military police in there, people probably would get hurt. So
yes,
it's like stuck between a rock and a hard place, If anybody has any last words, please go ahead and say them. We're going to start naming off some people and saying our goodbyes.
Tennessee Comeflower, Transmission, GGB, Kath Mason, Wildstar Productions, Luke Hines, Sean
What
Horda.
up, Luke? I recognize Luke's name.
Yeah, Brody Love 2, John Michael Patrick. You guys have had some good questions and comments tonight.
Absolutely. This has been a really good chat.
Ryan Swayze, Juzu. I hope I'm saying that right. Colby Hooper, Paul McDuff, Ashlyn Turner.
Ashlyn, what's up? I forgot to give you your shout out, so I'm giving it to you right now.
There it was. Michelle Gardner, JP, Raymond Carito, Mr. J, Larry Simpson, F Bass.
I don't want to be Mr.
Richards.
Pink. I want to be Mr. Orange. Reservoir Dogs, Steve Buscemi. I met that dude once. He's crazy as fuck. There's a little town
Yep.
close to where my hometown called Stewart, Ohio. And he married a girl from this town. I mean, this town has like maybe 300 people.
Has a gas station.
It has one gas station. Steve Buscemi married a girl from there. My friend Julian lived right beside this girl's mom. And one day, my friend Julian emerges from his house, and fucking Steve Buscemi's standing in the front lawn next to his front lawn. He calls me up and he's like, dude, fucking Steve Buscemi's in my neighbor's front lawn. So, like, of course, we all rushed down there, and that dude's wild. He's cool. Like, he talked to us. He was cool as shit. But I don't think he's acting. Like, he's seriously kind of weird in real life. And he's a really cool guy, though. All right. That's my one claim to fame. I'm going to